Moving on to funnier things though. Angus Crichton, his management have supposedly told the Roosters that, he'll re-sign, but he wants the FIfita deal, which means the money, the perks, and the car. We talked about this earlier, and you sort of tongue-in-cheek said, you give me what you were going to get FIfita, I'm going to Penrith. They must have heard that podcast because they've come out and done exactly that. I think it's a brilliant move from Crichton and his management team.
Well, there's no shortage of suitors for Angus Crichton because Penrith will still want him. They haven't replaced James Fisher-Harris because you can't replace James Fisher-Harris unless you're getting Payne Haas or Tino or Aden Fanua-Blake, and those guys aren't on the market. So maybe the idea is to move Isaiah Yeo into the front row and stack with IPAP and maybe try and get Angus Crichton. Then you're talking about the Gold Coast Titans have probably got a spot for Angus Crichton. The Dragons, these teams that have money are going to have a crack at Angus Crichton. There are, Crichton's management will be able to turn around and go, Cronulla don't have a full team. The Dogs can always find room. Parramatta have got money. All these teams will need a player like Angus Crichton, and Crichton's management have turned around and said, we know what you gave him for FIfita. Give it to us, or we walk away. South Sydney want him. Rugby Union will want him. He's no short of suitors. I think the Roosters made a real bad mistake not locking him down at least verbally and then going and upsetting the apple cart because, since about round 5 this year, Crichton's been one of the form back rowers of the competition. You can't just let them walk out the front door.
He's very good in Origin too, and you can't say that about a whole lot of the Blues, despite, brave effort, etc., etc. Yeah, I think the Roosters wrote their own. They've got no one else to blame but themselves. They've gone out and they've recruited a superstar left back rower on ridiculous money. They can't turn around now and say to Angus Crichton, actually, that's not available, because it was available and they still wanted to sign and keep Angus Crichton. So it's excellent from his management team, and I think he's worth every cent of it. I think he's probably number 2 to FIfita in terms of that left back row. He's probably a little bit more consistent than FIfita, with the greatest respects to the big man. I still think FIfita's a genuine game breaker, but you can't convince me that Angus Crichton's not.
I would say this year that they're 2 and 3 because Viliama Kikau has been the best left edge back row in the competition that hasn't been particularly close.
There you go. But that's a big...
You're fighting semantics there because if you end up with any of those players, you're on a good one.
Absolutely. I think Canberra are right now just licking their lips because they've been in for every back row in the competition. And a few of them signed. I know they were very, very keen on David FIfita. So they've got the money. They're probably going to go, we have cars in Canberra too.
Yep.
Come down here and have a look. I think
and we print the money. We print the money that you're going to get paid.
You don't have to go far. You drop it to you. I think Crichton has been a huge winner in this, and early on he was the big loser in this because he lost his spot in his big contract. He can add whatever he wants and say, if you don't do it, I'm going to go somewhere that will. And the Roosters, for the sake of the NRL, need to keep him away from Penrith, because if they add him and Papali'i, so help me God. But this is one to watch. I think you'll stay with the Roosters. I think they'll give him what he deserves and what he's earned. But like you said, there's no shortage of suitors. This is another one yet to watch.